And then yesterday goes 5 for 5, 215. Hello. 3 touchdowns.
Against a team that wasn't allowing him at all.
Only 3 all year. That was kind of off the board. I didn't even think that was going to be in the game plan, but it was in a major way. What did Jalen Hurts prove, bro?
Well, last week when we got wind that in the locker room, at least one player was thinking, hey, we're on the verge of the supernatural funk, as we call it here. I was like, look, one of their leaders needs to step up. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. Somebody has to step up and calm this down. Jalen Hurts did it.
Yep.
That's what he did. I don't know what he said to the locker room, if he did it with his words, but with his actions, he did it. And what he proved is, yet again, he is a gamer. He is a gamer. Since the supernatural funk, every time he's been questioned, A.J. Brown questions the passing game, which is questioning him. He goes out and throws for 290 and a couple touchdowns against Pittsburgh. All right, the Super Bowl. Oh, they're not going to beat the Chiefs. Who's going to beat the Chiefs? He goes out 4 touchdowns, Super Bowl MVP. And then yesterday, the supernatural fun, we're on the verge of that. He goes out and throws for 300 yards. I know you showed it last week, Nick. For the first time in eons.
28 games.
Okay, 20, right. Basically 2 years. And so whatever it takes, and what I liked about yesterday is the way he did it. We've said they're not throwing a lot of intermediate stuff with him. That's not been his strength. But yesterday, they had some intermediate stuff. Obviously, the deep balls. He threw stuff inside the numbers, not just outside to A.J. Brown. Like, he was fantastic. And so, to me, that's what he proved. Like, don't question. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't even have them going there. But don't question whether or not Jalen Hurts can win, whether or not he can throw the football, whether or not he can run. Because he gets it done, whatever they need him to do to get a W. So I thought, like I said, he proved he's a gamer.
So this was the graphic that I showed last week that Eagles fans so mad at me because I'll be totally honest, I blame Gianna. Gianna picks which parts of my long statement she's going to caption and put out there, and she picked a very clickbait one there to drive engagement. I do not think last week my stance was he can't do this. I think what we were saying last week is it's very obvious what the Eagles need to do to pull out of this tailspin. Have their Super Bowl MVP quarterback deliver. And you made the point with any of the other great quarterbacks, that would be the expectation. Is like, hey, he's going to have a great game. And the point I was making is it had been a long time since he had a great game purely through the air.
Right.
And then he had, in my opinion, if you remove the added, points you get for it being a playoff game or in the Super Bowl, if all games are graded equally, I think that's the best game he's ever played.
Well, certainly the best regular season game.
Yes, and I think he actually played better in this game than he played in either Super Bowl. The stakes are so different that you can't really say that, which bolsters, I had the exact same mindset as you, Brew. It bolsters his big game quarterback rep because this wasn't a playoff game, I get that. But they were on the verge, we thought, of a spiral, of a 3-game losing streak, of there being real panic. Yep. And he started the game, KW, with a 4th and 4 to score a touchdown, and then ended the game that it shouldn't have been that close, given it was weird that Minnesota was in it, given Wentz's mistakes and how well he was throwing it. But it was a 6-point game, and it's 3rd and 9, and he once again hits a bomb to ice the game. So I thought his 4th and 4 set the table, and then both to A.J. Brown, by the way, and then this 3rd and 9 ends the game. So I thought it was the best I've ever seen him play if you remove the stakes. And KW, he doesn't have to have perfect passer rating moving forward. It's what they're going to need from him moving forward.
From Saquon?
Because I don't think I think the Saquon we've gotten is the Saquon we're getting this year.
I'll give it.
Oh, Nick Wright coming in hot, saying this was the greatest game Jalen Hurts has ever played. We are going to get after this one. Because Jalen Hurts, what did Hurts prove? he proved absolutely nothing. Jalen Hurts proved absolutely nothing. And no, I'm not joking. He proved absolutely nothing. He's already proved that he is elite. Jalen Hurts has already proved how great he can be. Just because he doesn't do it every single game. Just because the Philadelphia Eagles have built a team where they don't have to rely on him doing it. Jalen Hurts hasn't proved anything because he's already shown that he is a top quarterback in the NFL. This only proved something to you if you rejected and doubted and denied what your eyes and your ears and your heart and soul has showed you that Jalen Hurts is capable of doing. So just stop with the insanity. Stop with the absolute insanity. And Eagles fans, you got to rise to the occasion. You got to rise to the occasion. You got to subscribe. You got to watch the full-length videos. You got to do it so we can just keep building and building and building so we can have an avalanche of Philadelphia Eagles fans here. So that every time I post an Eagles video, you know that it is going to go off. When you guys watch the videos, when you guys subscribe, this is what happens. The videos go vertical. The subscribers go through the roof. The views go through the roof. I am trying to build something that is firmly rooted in this sports world. Because I know you guys have all been waiting for these clips. I know you've all been waiting to have these discussions. I don't want to wait anymore. I just want to jump in head first and just get after it. So I need you Eagles fans to rise to the occasion. Because even this conversation is ridiculous to me. This conversation right now is ridiculous to me. First off, I love how they didn't even open up the show with this. None of the shows did. The first things first did Kansas City Chiefs, dropping banners. I'm skipping all that nonsense. I care less about that. Wow, congratulations, you beat the Raiders. Jalen Hurts, who's been doubted his entire career. But let's just stick to this season. This entire season. Jalen Hurts has a perfect game. Absolutely, positively balls out. Has no run support, O-line a mess, and he goes 19 for 23, 326 yards, 14.2 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, a 158.3 passer rating. Hits Devontae to have the most receiving yards all season long for any receiver in the NFL. 9 catches for 183 yards, 1 touchdown, a 79-yard touchdown throw that was literally as perfect as it gets. Literally the most perfect throw as it can get. And A.J. Brown, 4 catches, 4 for 121 and 2 touchdowns. And of course, all the amazing 3rd down, 4th down, huge shows, which, spoiler alert, I got another video coming out that I think we'll probably post tomorrow that gives you all the highlights. It actually shows you all the highlights and we break it down. I want to try to be able to do more of that. But the Vikings have not given up any deep ball touchdowns, no over 200 passing. And what did Jalen Hurts do? What did Jalen Hurts do? He did that. That's what he did. I mean, his scramble throws, the throws that he had to scramble and to make off one foot. I understand what Nick is saying here, where it's just like if we neutralize everything and we don't think about a Super Bowl, this or that, was this Jalen Hurts' best game? I don't know about that. That's downplaying what he did in the first Super Bowl. That was arguably his best game. Because what he did in the air was absolutely insane. The types of throws that he was making were absolutely insane. And what he was doing with his legs was absolutely insane, setting the record. I grant you that the last Super Bowl wasn't as spectacular, although it was still like the first ever to be the rushing touchdown, the passing touchdown, over whatever it was, like over 200 some yards, 75% completion percent. You know, it had the first ever game to ever do that, and it was in the Super Bowl, so like that was great too. But it wasn't. This was a harder game for Jalen Hurts, and to see him rise to the occasion. So I can see that for sure. But I mean, this was just a perfect game. I mean, it really was. He was the highest rated quarterback of the week by far. No other quarterback even hit 90 on PFF. And Jalen Hurts was, what is he, like 95 or 94? 95.2. Drake May got close with 87. We'll see what happens tonight, obviously. But this is as good as it gets. This was absolutely as good as it gets. But you know what's funny, though? he only threw the ball 23 times. So when Mangini gets up there and says, well, the Eagles don't win when they ask Jalen Hurts to throw the ball 30 or more times, well, this won't count. This won't count, which is why having random cutoffs for passing attempts makes exactly 0 sense. Because did you watch this game and say, well, listen, they won the game because they asked Jalen Hurts to throw the ball less. That's why they won. It's obvious that's why they won. They only asked him to throw the ball 23 times. They asked him to throw the ball less. That's actually why they won. You see? See how it doesn't make any sense? Exactly. But those are just my thoughts. I love how fast this clip was. Seriously. I mean, Jalen Hurts, there's some struggles, and they just go on and on and on and on and on. Jalen Hurts balls out. Colin doesn't put a clip on. He has like a 3-minute clip, 2.5-minute clip. At the end of the show, okay, he talks about the Patriots. He talks about the Packers. He talks about Micah Parsons. He talks about the Cowboys. He talks about the Chiefs. He talks about every team under the sun. The Arizona Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett got more airtime than Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. And now they did put it in their first section, in the A blocker or whatever, before the first commercial break, which is cool. But it was like such a quick little boop. Jalen Hurts played great. It was one of the best games I think he's ever played. And let's go on to something else. Funny. But when the Eagles win, but it doesn't look as good as they wanted to, let's have a 45-minute conversation about what's going wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles. What's wrong with Jalen Hurts? Unbelievable. Eagles fans saw it coming. I credit y'all. People are going to think that I'm saying this just to say it. Eagles fans actually have one of the most grounded, educated views of the media. Seriously. They really, I see so many people just make stuff up, fans especially, like in the comment section of what they say about media and this, that, and it's like almost like never accurate. It really, I really mean that. Someone said that about the Los Angeles Rams recently. They're like, oh, everyone's always doubting the Rams. And I'm like, who's doubting the Rams? Who in the media, like, what are you even talking about right now? Oh, everyone always hates the Detroit Lions. What? Like, Colin has gone so all in saying, I want to see the Lions versus the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. He had a whole segment about it. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, what? Like, people just love to make stuff up. They really do. It's kind of insane. But the Eagles called it. The Eagles fans called it. When I did my post-game clip, they all called it. They were right. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts? What did he prove? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And like I said, please do consider subscribing. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.